Mele Kaliki Maka, my friends. Where's the luau, you might ask? It is in the stock market. We need to talk about a few stocks that I think are going to do absolutely awesome. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and I came downstairs last year to find Santa Claus climbing on my Christmas tree, and I said, "Are you ornamental?" Why the accent for that joke? I don't even know. It just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. And why the flower lay? Well, it's Hawaiian Day at work today, so I figure why not bring it to the YouTube channel? I thought it'd be a little bit of fun. Let's get right to the stocks that I want to talk about today. So actually the first thing is an ETF, IWM, tracking the Russell 2000. Palantir, Mara, which is one of the Bitcoin miners that we have out there, Sofi, Enphase, and Tesla. Like, this is going to be a great video. I'm super excited to share it with you, even if I can't really talk right. I'm so excited about it. So I'll tell you how I'm playing this market. You see the buys and sells through the Patreon. I also have my options course over there, and I'll tell you later about the free stocks from Mumu. In the meantime, let's get right to the information because I know that that's what you came for. So let me pop this up here. And the very first thing that we're looking at is IWM. Like I said, tracks the Russell 2000, and I said that when we started getting wind of rate cuts, when they started to be suspected that we would see IWM start to pop off. So we can see that actually going all the way back to the middle of November with this inverse head and shoulders pattern that we had. And I talked about this neckline at 180. We are currently at 195, actually 196 in the pre-markets. Look at that spike that we got, not only in volume, but also in price action yesterday. I cashed in on my options play on that one. That paid off quite handsomely for me. I talked about that in yesterday's video. This is one that I think could keep on pushing past that 197 resistance that we have. And I think that we actually start to cap out, at least initially, right around the $200 mark. So that's another 2.5% up from where we're at right now in the market. So I think that that's very much worthwhile to pay attention to because that can still be some decent appreciation. 207, by the way, is this line that I have up here. And the reason that I marked that is if we actually zoom out, there we go. Zoom out, Dr. Stock. If we go back to when the Fed started their tightening back in March of 2022, that's actually where our peak was prior to this. And we actually, if we go back even farther from there, it takes us back to 2021. I don't know that we'll get up there to those levels, although that would be incredible. That'd be around $240 per share for the ETF, for the Russell 2000. But I do think that 200 is very, very highly likely. I think 207 is still possible. And we'll see if the markets start to get a little bit frothy up above that. But I absolutely think the IWM is one that should be on your watch list. And I want to move over from there over to Palantir. And when we look at Palantir, check out this trend line that we're bouncing off of right now. As a matter of fact, we have the 50 SMA and EMA as resistance for us. However, it is possible that we break back above that. We want to see this green 5-period EMA start to cross the yellow 13-period EMA. That could be good for us. We have room up to 19, 20, or possibly even if things get really good, really going for us, and the sentiment returns, a positive sentiment returns to Palantir, we could see this thing pop up to 24 coming up in the near future. We'll have to watch and see. I think that would come with a market push, that there would be a market bias at the back, that if the markets do continue upward, that Palantir could certainly move with it. So I think 19 is perfectly reasonable. Should we start to get those crosses, that could push us up even above $20 per share. As a matter of fact, this line that I have for you here is at $20.46, and we peaked out previously at about $21.61, and there still could be room up above that should we stay in this channel that I have here for you, this bullish channel that we have currently going on. As a matter of fact, you could possibly even draw a couple different lines, maybe an alternative, and that might not necessarily be as high, but maybe a little bit more reasonable for a little bit better planning, for more conservative planning. That would still give us room up to about $22 per share from where it's currently at if we continue in the bullish direction. Now, Mara, BTC play. BTC, by the way, is currently, as I record this video, over $43,000 per Bitcoin. So with the miners moving right along with it, yeah, we got that overbought here, but it's going to track the price of Bitcoin. So really, we want to watch Bitcoin's price action. And I do think that the markets could push hard enough and that we go into a risk-on scenario, risk-on environment that puts in that $50,000 price tag per BTC. So we're going to have to watch and see if we get that. And then also remember the altcoins also factor in there as well, that they usually follow Bitcoin rallies. So they've been doing really well. They should continue to do really well. Ethereum is most definitely one of my favorites. Solana is another one that's out there. Cardano is still there, although I think they've seen better days. And so we can move on. Tell me about your favorite crypto down in the comments of this video. And then Sofi. Sofi had a great day. $9 is currently where we're trading above in the pre-markets. We want that as support. Right now, it's acting as of yesterday's close Let me put a cursor here. Yesterday's close was $8.94. So $9 is still resistance until we close above $9. If we do, we have room to $9.50 and then $10. At the $10 mark, I think that SoFi could really start to stutter if it doesn't already stutter at the $9 mark. Above 9, I think 10's a clear shot for us. I think there's heavy resistance to be found at that $10 mark, at which point in time I'd like to start to sell calls against my shares of SoFi as I am a long-term holder. But after a volume like this and after a move like this, I think that there's still going to be more momentum in the upward direction for SoFi, even though on a daily basis we're up in the overbought territory. If we drop that out to the weekly basis here, you can see that we are in bullish territory, just now breaking out of the bearish channel that SoFi has been trading in for a while. Now out to Enphase. This one for Enphase, let me zoom in a little bit. There we go. So you can see the different resistances and targets that I have here. We bounced off the 112, and then we even broke down for a little bit down below the EMAs, and I said that CPI and the Fed meeting were the two big catalysts to watch for. CPI didn't do great things for us for Enphase, didn't tell us what we wanted to see, but the Fed came out and they're like, you know what, we're going to cut rates in 2024 most likely anyway. And well, as I said, in a lower interest rate environment, solar stocks would take off. Enphase being in that area most certainly was no stranger to that. And right now in the pre-market, trading at 110. And the awesome thing is I actually bought calls on this yesterday with a $100 strike. So that is already, as of the pre-market right now, that's $1,000 of intrinsic value plus any time value on top of that. That is going to be a great play for me. I'm excited to see how that plays out. Should we hit resistance at 112, I'll either likely set a stop or just cut with my profits that I have, take them and run. But Enphase, I think most definitely could move on past that 112, maybe even up to our $120 target. And we're going to have to see what kind of run we get from the markets from there just to see how high it pushes us up. And right now we're going to have to watch to see how that information gets digested. We have the triple witching day coming up for us on Friday when we have a whole bunch, I think $5 trillion in options expiring on Friday. So some of those will either be rolled forward or some of them will be positions exited. I think some of those could be short positions being exited. So some short covering in solar could be one of those things that allows us to really catalyze this price. So Friday is going to be an interesting day for us, and we'll see if it is something that allows us to be pushed up from there. Now Tesla, man, oh man, Tesla, yesterday, things went rough. We went all the way down. Low price was $228 on Tesla, and that broke us down below our trend line, broke us down below the 50 EMA and SMA, but it's all about the closing price, and the Fed came out with their numbers at 2 o'clock, Jerome Powell at 2:30, and just push and push. This thing actually broke up. It closed at 239, and in the pre-market hours is up over 241. We have pretty much a green light for this if the market strength continues up to that 245 and to 250. I think is pretty easy and within reason to get there, and then we can always fall back on this trend line if we don't get there. And we also have the 50 EMA and SMA causing these supports to happen, and that point of confluence right around 233. We should find pretty firm support happening there. The firmest support being all the way down here at about 225. Should we break down through that, then we are back in bearish territory. We could go back down and revisit 200. I'm a long-term bull on Tesla, but I will play both directions on Tesla, and I think that's very well worthwhile for mentioning. So I did say in this video that I'd tell you how I can see my buys and sells. You can do that through the Patreon. That link is down in the description. My Tesla stock price prediction, which I'm going to update for this fourth quarter and for the total year. I'm going to be putting that up on the Patreon very soon, and my NVIDIA stock price prediction is over there as well. I also have my options course that I'm building out over there, and I'm pleased to announce that I even did some options work for Stockmo for his coursework that should be landing any day now in Stockmo's course. So if you watch his channel, go over and check that out if you want to see his content, which is wonderful, and some of mine that's also on there. And then the 15 free stocks from Mumu. Go ahead, check that link out down in the description. And let's move on back to the commentary on the stocks for what we have here. So Bitcoin, I think, is going to keep on running for us. The small caps, I think, still have a lot of upward movement to take place. Palantir, some favor could return to that, and we could actually see some bullishness there. And with the tailwind of the overall markets at its back. So without that sell-off in the markets, with a continued rally in the markets, that could really push on. SoFi, I think we're going to have a lot of short covering. I think that's going to continue to push the price up for a little while yet. And like I said, I think $10 is that hard resist that we have, that it's going to be very difficult to break over the $10 mark, at least up until we get those earnings, because we're looking for that profitability in the fourth quarter to end the year for 2023. And that'll be a great Christmas gift that we get late because we get it out in the first quarter of 2024 by the time that they actually report earnings. And then also, let me see, Enphase, I think solar stocks are going to continue to do well for the next couple of days, possibly the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited about the position that I have. And then Tesla, I think Tesla still has some strength coming back to it. And I think that we could break some of those resistances, maybe even touch the top of the bearish channel that we're in and blow out of that thing finally and break to the upside. It is within reason to see it actually even go beyond that 250 mark to even try out the 260 and 268. But that would be, like I said, with the market at its back. If the market does not have Tesla's back, if sentiment changes about the interest rates or about inflation or anything like that, about the auto industry itself or about Elon Musk selling to support X, formerly Twitter, all of those things can most definitely impact it. Tesla is one that is super hard to predict because there's just, it's a very embattled stock that there's always wars between the bulls and the bears, and it's a bloody one. I'll tell you what, that it's taken a lot of people's money being caught in the wrong direction. But I do think that Tesla will experience some strength with the market conditions that it's under right now. So just watch those supports, watch those resistances, and if you are going to play it, make sure that you play it wisely and heads up, and that you try to get caught in the right direction of things, whichever direction you're trading, and try not to get caught in the wrong direction because Tesla will move quickly. Thank you guys for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Check out the link for the Patreon down in the description. Come on over and join me and my community members over there and see my buys and sells and how I'm playing this market. And then also your free stocks from Moomoo, don't forget about those. And if you haven't checked out Stockmo's channel, please do so, and his coursework that he has with the bread recipe. And like I said, my content is coming to that coursework soon as well. Thanks again for watching. As always, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.